Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera. There we go. Hi, everybody. So I thought I'd come on for a little while and do some mixed media. When I was organizing and cleaning today, I forgot I had all this. So it's good, many, and it's really good paper. It's actually out of a printing company. It printed invitations and all that. This is, let's see, 8.5 long. That don't look like no 8.5. Well, maybe it is. Yeah. By 5.5. Not bad. And what I thought I'd do is make some mixed media on it. Yeah, it's 8.5. Well, didn't look like no 8.5, does it? Alright, so I thought, the heck, let's have some fun. And see how my paint works on it. I don't see why the paint wouldn't work on it. So I'm going to use some colors that I want to do. There's very little in the bottle. So we're going to start with that. If I can get them. There we go. Open. It was a very productive day for me. I got all that paper I was given nicely labeled, organized. I'm not tired, so I'm getting tired, but I'm not there yet. I'm just going to lay color down. Oh, man, I've been doing... Okay, since I took my mixed media mat off, the Timmy Holtz thing, and I'm not, my table's getting all ducky. Whoa. Okay. There we go. I don't think I have to take this one down. It's pretty flat. All right. There's more in these bottles than I thought there was. That's all right. Let's put that right there. No, not so much in the green. Or the blue. Oops. Went in the wrong color. Hey, Dana. How are ya? It is 10 below right now. Cold. No snow. But when it gets cold here, we don't get snow. You know? But it's cold. What is it? Oh, that's my Mandela art. I was like, what is this? It got put in with my stencils. That's gotta go somewhere. All right. And I can tell it's cold because my furnace keeps going. It's 49 in Florida. Have you always lived in Florida? I've always lived in Wisconsin. Well, I spent the summer in St. Louis, but it wasn't not too special. Yep, my whole life. I remember my cousins. My one cousin was born here in Wisconsin, but she was so little she didn't remember. She don't remember. But her sister was born in South Carolina, and they came home for Christmas, and they were, let's see, 5 and 7, ish, and they never saw snow. And Alicia, who was born here, she was so little she didn't even remember snow, and they couldn't keep them in the house. They were like, I need to go outside and play in the snow. So I just remember laughing. It was the same year I was at my grandparents when they showed up. And they sent the girls to the front door to surprise my grandparents. And my grandma goes, go answer that door. I don't know who would be ringing this doorbell at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, okay. So I get up there, and there stands Alicia and Teresa, and my Uncle Randy and Aunt Mary are off to the side. My uncle goes, what the hell are you doing answering the door? I'm like, I'm spending the weekend here. Well, go get Grandpa and Grandma. I'm like, okay. Don't tell them. And that's cool. So I turned around, go back in the house, and I said, I don't know who it is, but they need to speak to both of you. And they say, now. And my grandfather, stay right. My grandma, same way, all the way to the door. Only to discover their two youngest grandchildren, well, I don't think youngest, but pretty close, from South Carolina, are standing on their porch. Surprise, Grandpa, Grandma. Where are your mom and dad? And I laughed because they were told to tell that they were dropped off. They had dropped off from a stranger that picked them up at the airport to surprise them for Christmas. They thought it was my mom that went and picked up the girls. They could see because my mom and my uncle were really close. They could see my mom being the one that maybe hiring somebody to put them on a flight, to have them come home and experience Christmas with the family. And my mom just did this. But then my Uncle Randy goes, "We're right here, Mom." She goes, I had to give up my room that day. I had my own room at my grandparents because my parents were divorced. So my dad never came and got me on his weekends. So my grandparents did instead. Yeah. I saw snow in Kentucky and Tennessee. I wouldn't want the weather you guys get, though. I'll take my snow. I don't want your hurricanes. I think I told Kathy that, too. I'm like, you can keep your hurricanes. I'll keep my weather. My snow. I mean, we've gotten some bad windstorms, but nothing like I don't think you guys have experienced. My sister's hubby was an airman, so they surprised us for Christmas one year. Yep, my uncle Randy was in the Air Force. Yeah, I spent a semester of school down on Andrews Air Force Base, South Carolina. Went down there because I was having problems. And I didn't want to go home or live with my dad. So I went and stayed with my aunt and uncle. I wish I would have stayed down there. I loved it down there, Charleston, South Carolina. Loved it. Probably been married to an Air Force officer. Yeah, tornadoes. Yep. And are you like on a? See, you're on the south of here. See, Kathy's in Tampa. Did you get all those wicked storms that she got? We get tornadoes up here. Hasn't the worst tornado ever been. And I shouldn't say it. Well, I don't know. I classify it a tornado. I was in Tennessee. It touched down in a haze. I was doing living history. We were in an encampment, and a tornado went through. And then we, me and my husband ran to Walmart, and our kids stayed in camp with friends of ours. We made the trip with everybody's grocery list. We left to Walmart, came back to encampment, and I'm taking all these cool pictures off in the distance. And here it was the tornado, and they took out the Walmart me and my husband were at. That's how close we. I was like, yeah, that's scary. We live in a block home, so it holds up pretty well. That's cool. Hello, Buckans Creation. East of Tampa. Ah, okay. I live in Green Bay, block away, less than a block and a half away from Lambeau Field. And yippee for me. That's what happened while we were in Tennessee. My hubby went to Walmart and he got stuck there. Power went off with those kids. My real name is Patty Ann. Okay. Hello, Patty Ann. I was going to say Ann because of your last little bit. Patty Ann. I will try to remember. If I don't, I apologize. I'm really bad at names. Sometimes I forget my own. So I laughed a couple weeks ago. My son cut his finger at work. When he got home, I wanted him to go in, but he wouldn't go in. So I'm laying in bed, and he cut it like right there, right above the knuckle. And I said, I think you should go get stitches. Well, stubborn, he went to it. So I'm laying in bed, and he comes in and he's like, hey, Mom. I'm like, what? He goes, do you got a popsicle stick? And I'm like, yeah. And I laughed because he said he came into my craft room and then he kind of stood here, he says, for a few minutes. And he looked around and he's like, I wouldn't even know where to look. So then he came up, peeked in, kind of tapped on my door. And he was like, Mom, are you up? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you got a popsicle stick? So I come down and I grab popsicle sticks. And I have probably every size under the sun. And he says to me, what the hell you need all these popsicle sticks for? I was like, you never know. Well, why'd you buy them all? I said, because I got them really reasonable cheap. Well, you don't need all them. What the hell you need all this stuff for? What do you use it for? As I look at him and he goes, oh, never mind. I said, they come in handy. What for? I kind of look at him. And he was like, oh, yeah. I said, Riley, I said, Coda used to make all sorts of stuff with popsicle sticks. He's kind of all growing that stage, though. I said, and now you need one. Yeah, good point. He says, he walks out my restroom. He did. He went the next morning. He got like that adhesive glue, and him and Scott helped him get it really good. You know, and he did that, and then oh, I wanted to put some right there. He bandaged it up, antibiotic, did everything he needed to do. I tell you, men, especially that one and my son. I think that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I keep missing you. You shouldn't be Moms, Stacy's or Rebecca, so maybe that's where I've seen you before. I don't know. I think I need something right there. Maybe. There are so many of us out there, I can't keep up. Or in times. Everybody goes, Usually I see Becca in the morning. Or I should say, not morning. But they are stubborn. Not early, but like, I'm going to say 10:30, 11. You're talking Becca that's in the wheelchair, right? That Becca? Yes, that Becca. Did she still go live? Mid-morning. Yeah. So I thought that Becca. Yeah. I got to get back in the swing of it. Since I bought the house, or I shouldn't say since I bought the house, since we bought the house, my summers have been getting things done that been neglected after basically. This year I painted the upstairs, and now I got a bug in my butt. I want to rip the rest of the carpet out. But we discovered that underneath the carpet upstairs, they never put floor. It's just like little chunks of wood like this. And then it's like this. It's whatever Scott's grandfather could use. So we decided we're going to leave the carpet up there for now, going from the hallway to the both bedrooms. And invest in, because I hate carpet. I hate carpet with a passion. We're going to invest in that hardwood floor that you can click together and put that down. But yeah, I pulled the little section, that carpet up there. It's been up there since Scott was a kid. It was on the stairs. Diamond had the privilege. Diamond's like, can I get, it's ugly green. Probably whatever year, 70s, whatever. Scott was born in 69, and Scott says he's never seen that carpet changed in all these years. And my husband is 55 years old, so that's how old that carpet is up there. And he's like, it was there since I can remember. So When I lift up this spot, it's coming up. And that was the carpet where they had the black underneath it, padding. I picked up this little corner that was coming up, and it's all black. So, yeah, so that's our goal for next year. We ain't doing it in the winter, especially here in Wisconsin, because I have such bad allergies. I want to open all the windows when I decide to rip that carpet up. I said Scott will be ripping, and I'll be sucking with the vacuum or shop vac. But I said to Scott, so we went and priced it. By the time we're probably said and done, probably about $600, if that. So I'm gonna watch the sale. And I said to Scott, I said to Scott, we should go over and check out that reuse whatever store, recycle reuse store. I said that's where my old landlord got his flooring. I said even if it's mismatched, we like say they have a dark color and then they have a light color and then they have that mixed color in between, we can make it look good if it all can click together. But then Scott's cousin Chuck, he's tearing down an old general store, and the upstairs is all hardwood flooring. So he's coming down, and him and Scott were talking because they got to tear the building down, and just because it's pretty much condemned. So I want to talk him in to saving me some of that hardwood floor he has and putting it upstairs if possible. Because I think that would be so cool if I could put that upstairs, make it work. I won't see why we couldn't. I'd just refinish it before I laid it down. And I'd do that in the summer, sand it, finish it, and then do that. Okay, I'm going to catch up. Yeah, that was my problem. I broke my... Okay. I'm morning. Yeah, she does still go live. It depends on how she feels. Yeah, that was my problem. Again last June, and I haven't been up to doing it. Oh, I'll blame you. Carpet is really hard to keep clean. Hello, palette. Sorry I didn't see you come in. I prefer floors too. Ew. Yes, my niece has that, and they had a leak, and they pulled it up and dried the floor and put it back down. They have vinyl type. We are going to redo our floors too. We have the glue down, planks down. It was held up really good, but it's time. I was a carpet man for 30 years, then he had a heart attack. I had to stop such heavy work. I have those panels that look like wood now. Spinal. High palette. This messy palette. But I couldn't get over when we pulled that back. I pulled the section probably about this long, about this wide carpet where it was coming up, and I couldn't believe the wood underneath it. I said to Scott, the whole bottom half of my house, and even my kitchen floor, is hardwood floors. This room's done. The living room's done. The office is done. We pulled up the old vinyl flooring out of the bathroom that was there since Scott's uncle told me they did the bathroom when his dad was alive. I can't believe my in-laws never redid the floor. That's hardwood floors. So now me and Scott are out in the debate to the fact it's the bathroom. Sanding it down, filling in the little cracks, and somehow sealing it really good that it doesn't get water damage from the shower and stuff. Right now I got this long mat going across, and it's not a very big bathroom. My bathroom is really small. Or put in not vinyl tiling made for floors, not ceramic tile, because I don't want ceramic, down on the floor in the bathroom. We were supposed to get that done this summer. We didn't get it done. We never even got to finish the stairs. We're 5 shy from this. Well, we got them all sanded 3 times. Now it's just doing it a good sanding 2 more times and clear coating it. Cool. Oh, I said to Scott, because at first I was supposed to be upstairs for a craft room, and when there's a chunk of carpet that I pulled up in the bedroom, which is now underneath one of my dressers. That's what I had been doing on the floor upstairs, because it's all this. It looks like somebody just, because this house is the second house built here. The first one burnt down, and it looks like they probably did, because that's what they did back then, salvaged what they could. In my bus, I put mismatch limited every 3rd plank. Cool, I love it. It was fun. Sounds cool. Well, my father-in-law went 17 years. My mother-in-law was gone, and my father-in-law wouldn't do anything. He refused to. He left it the way she was when she passed away. I was lucky I could clean. He wouldn't let me paint. Him and Scott left town for her funeral one afternoon. I called Diamond and Sam. They came over and we had let's wash the wall party. We got the kitchen done. We busted our butts. And not that I said, how do I put this? I think my mother-in-law was on my side to get the walls at least washed, because Scott's dad's blazer broke down. They had to call my aunt and uncle to get help. So they were really late for the funeral. So I said, we finished and we got the kitchen done. Sam's brother came. They kicked and did the kitchen. Me and Diamond started in the living room and just a little help. And we got it all done and completed by the time they got home 7 hours later. And God would re-soar the next day though. But I got the walls washed. They needed it so bad. And then when I moved in here, they were, and I just did the quick job. When I moved in here, but both my in-laws smoked, and I was washing the walls, and it was terrible. Yeah, especially with my craft room. I never washed. I don't know when the last time this room was painted or the walls washed in here. Oh, this room was the most terriblest room, the bedroom. This was their bedroom. And I couldn't tell you when it took me, like, I bet you 8 times to wash the walls in here before I could paint. Here and in the office. Luckily, I said to Scott, that Scott and I, Diamond and Sam, we washed the kitchen and the living room walls probably 4 times in 15 years after Scott's mom passed away. And then Dad finally wouldn't let us do anything anymore. He's like, they don't need to be washed, But this one, oh my God. I primed this walls. I bought this paint. So I told the lady when I went at Menards, it's a local Midwest store, what I was dealing with. I said, I already washed them. But she gave me this primer that also takes like smell out and helps with that. And Scott and I smoke, but we don't smoke in the house. Not even in the winter. Because I said I was not going through that again. And I got new furniture, and I didn't want it to smell like smoke. I never had brand new furniture in my life. I always bought secondhand furniture, and I got brand new furniture. And I would be damned if it's going to smell like that. So, we smoke outside. And the thing is I smoke less since I have to go outside. I thought, yeah, I'll quit. No. I've cut back way. Scott, on the other hand, nope. I caught him. He never quit. Even after his heart attack, I busted him. I'm down to probably 6 cigarettes a day, if that. And it's usually when Scott gets home. I can go all day and not have a cigarette. So, yeah, that's what I said. I know. I never buy them, so I don't know. And, oh, shit, a couple weeks ago, I ran in for Scott. I come on, I'm like, oh my God. I said, he goes, what? I said, I can't believe how much it costs to smoke these days. Because he buys cartons, $80, was it $75 for a carton of cigarettes? I think that's what he pays, what we pay. I said to Scott, we take that money and I said, and put that away. We could probably buy a Harley in a year. I'm trying this so I don't get it on. A brand new Harley, I said. It's a nasty habit. I tell my grandkids all the time, don't ever start. Even vaping, I said, don't do it. Yep. Yep. I know. I said, be smart. Don't be your Nana and Papa. Allie asked me, why'd you ever start smoking, Nana? I said, environment. She goes, what do you mean environment? I said, when I was a bartender, yeah, you could smoke in bars. I said, I think secondhand smoke is what, because I never smoked. Maybe here and there in high school it'll look cool, but wasn't that big a deal, you know? I said, and then when school, or when I started bartending, I said, I think it's because everybody was smoking at the bar, and it just became easy to smoke. And that was it. Because my dad smoked when I was young, but he never smoked. He quit years ago. Vanessa just became illegal. Vanessa has just become illegal to sell here? What's Vanessa? I haven't smoked in 20 years. Now all the kids vape. Yeah. Cartons were 5 when I started back. Damn. Wow. I don't know what Vanessa is. I laugh because I'm so out of it. My grandchildren tell me that all the time. You are so out of touch, Nana, they tell me. I'm trying to figure out, because let me see where it is. Vapes. Ah, okay. All right, see? I'm out of it. On Janet Young's thing, it says, share your pages with community on X or Instagram. What the heck is X? I don't know what that is. Is that a new platform I don't know about? I'm not going on another one. Sabrina just had to walk me through TikTok. I'm not doing another platform. I was like, Jesus, can't keep up with this stuff. Makes me crazy. Yeah. I'd rather think, pretty honest, I'd rather if my kids smoked pot than drank. That's my opinion on that one. Is marijuana illegal in Florida? X is Trump's. Oh, okay. I didn't know he had a platform. I didn't know. Is that the one he started because TikTok didn't post any of his stuff last year or whatever? See, I don't keep up with that shit. I had to look the other day and see when the inauguration was. Neither one of my kids smoke weed. I mean, don't get me wrong, they probably try it. But my son, I asked him, "Have you ever tried some weed?" He's like, "Nope," and he has no intention to. For one, he doesn't want to lose his. He's got a bus driver's license. He said, "I ain't doing that. I'll lose that license." I don't remember the license for bus driving, but he's like, "I don't want to lose that. It's not worth it." Has a more experience. He's like, he's been driving school bus. This is his second year. He's like, I can maybe get a better job eventually with the same license. I don't know what exactly, but he's a mechanic, diesel mechanic. So says it ain't worth the. It is illegal. Can do medical, but by Delta, but in the small shops. Yeah, see, it's not illegal here. LMO bought Twitter and changed it to X. Oh, Twitter. Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm caught up. I was wondering what the heck X was. Why in the hell is it X? That's a name. Right. I'm just going to name something X because I can't remember the initials for anything. I looked at him, a picture of him. He's not a very attractive man, personally. I mean, he's not like, woo, hottie, kind of. So, but I guarantee, I know he has like 11 kids. I guarantee all the women saw, jing, jing, jing. He's just an ordinary looking man. He's not. I thought when I first saw him, that's not what I expected. For some reason, I just expected something else. He's not a Jason Momoa, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's. I didn't think he was. Yeah, I was like, I. Yeah, brilliant and rich. Yeah, that's for sure. Can share some of his wealth my way. I watched this thing that came across, I don't know what it was, and I felt bad for this lady. How and I never thought of this. Okay. They played this little clip of this lady. And I have to say she's probably, I'd say between 65, 75-ish. And I don't know. And I never looked at it this way. And they were talking about the campaigns, Kamala, however you say her name, and Trump's, okay? And she said she donated $20 to Kamala Harris for a campaign. And then she's like, and I'm on Social Security. And the guy goes, okay. And she goes, and that woman took that $20. And I'm not, and who else gave? Working class people. For her to pay Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce money to go up on a platform. And then they said Elon Musk didn't get paid for Trump. He just came. So it would be for defamation. Good for him. And I never looked at it that way. That working class people and all their commercials, please donate, da da da. And she paid Oprah and Beyonce to come and speak on her behalf. And I was like, oh my God. That is sad. That I didn't realize. I never realized they got paid. I didn't know that. I was just blown away by that. I was like, oh my, that's to me wrong. That I was like, oh my. I'm thinking if you want to put yourself out there and what's the word I'm using? Support a candidate, like, and you're like Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, and all those people, you shouldn't be paid then. Because if I'd have known, this is my opinion, if I'd have known they were being paid to go up there and endorse them, now I wonder, are they really doing it because they believe in them, or are they doing it for the money? Yeah, endorse. I never realized they got paid for that. I was like, if I went to one across, I don't remember where I saw that. It was on YouTube. I know that. I would have never known that. I was like, oh, I don't like. I don't like the view. I thought they got canceled anyways. I didn't like the play. See that Kyle Rittenhouse here from Wisconsin that shot those 3 people during the riot in Kenosha, or was it Kenosha? I always get them wrong. Yeah, Kenosha. A couple years ago. He was tried, but he wasn't convicted. Okay, the jury said he was protecting himself, and he's suing Whoopi Goldberg too, because the fact that he wasn't found guilty, he's not a murderer, and she called him a murderer on that show. Normally they don't pay them, but she had to because she wasn't doing well, obviously. Yeah, I don't know, but I never realized they. I was like, I was blown away. She took my $20 to pay a millionaire who didn't need the money and probably kept it. Didn't use it for charity, got paid and did charity or something. She goes, oh yeah, this woman was on a roll. I didn't realize, that blew me away when I heard that today. I was like, what? I was telling Scott about that. So I'm like, Scott, did you know that? He goes, oh yeah, they always get paid. I'm like, I didn't know that. He goes, most of them, yep. I said, well, then I wouldn't endorse anybody or vote for anybody that has a. Well, I don't believe in movie stars when they come on the tell. You should do this and you should do that anyways, because they don't know how us real folks live. So shut your mouth, is my opinion. You don't have to worry about feeding a family of 6 like my daughter has to. Now 7, you know? So don't tell me you know how the real people live. Because they don't. And, well, I was born and I worked at McDonald's. Well, so did I. So good for you. I don't care what you did in your past when you were a kid. I want to know what you did in the time you graduated from college to now. You haven't lived like a person that came from our background. I get, and that's even, they made the thing about Trump and his money, inheriting money. I'm like, it's no difference if I had inherited money. What's the big deal? Instead, Oprah and Beyonce got paid. Oh, see, I don't know. See, well, it's in her books. It's public. It's somewhere they show it in. They have something about they have to show where the money came from and what they did with the money, and it's on her books. I know that. It's something about they have to show it. I don't understand all this, but I was just blown away because I didn't know that. I did not know that. If you're going to endorse somebody and get up on the platform, you shouldn't get paid to say the words. I don't care who you are. But I never realized that. Scott goes, oh yeah, been happening for years. You can tell I don't follow politics. You can tell I think that came across. What is it? Twitter? Hang on. I just started watching, people. I had it for years, but I haven't. What is it? Was it this thing? Where is it? I lost it again. This thing. TikTok. That's where it was. Because now that I got I've had TikTok, but I've never paid any attention to TikTok. That's where I probably saw it. I don't get it. I don't. I have the philosophy we're screwed either way, so can't get look at it. It only can get better, right? I'm hoping. There's always got their own agendas, so. Oh yeah, that's big. Yeah, that's something too. The Jay-Z and the Diddy's of the world. He'll be the next one going to jail. That Jay-Z. Because guaranteed they're investigating anybody that's linked to Puffy right now. Sickos. Thing is you're so famous, why in the hell do you have to do it that way? I don't understand it. Control? Freak offs in jail. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like that. was that Jesse whatever in Chicago, Illinois or whatever, faked his own attack. And then I watched that whole thing on court TV, and it was the most ridiculous thing because they weren't going to. It's so messed up. He really didn't get no time because the DA or got mayor or whatever, DA or something, got a call from Michelle Obama and asked him not to charge him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was messed up. He should have been treated like any other low person. I don't care what your status is. He should have been treated like every other citizen. If we pulled that stuff, we'd have been sentenced and put in prison. No questions asked. Because he has money. But you know what? He ruined his career. He's screwed now. Yep. Mega did it. I remember that. The guy had a Mega on. I remember. You get pulled over for drunk driving, you pay the same consequences as everybody else. There should be no different because your ass can act or sing. Welcome, the law. It shouldn't be different because you have money in the court system, but that's how it is. People go to prison because they can't afford proper attorneys because they don't have money. And then if you get the public defenders, they just want to settle. No morals these days. Oh, yeah. I can't get it over all these people committing crimes and dismemberment crimes. I was like, what the hell? Because I watch a lot of court TV and killing children, cutting people's bodies up. It's like, what the hell's wrong? I said, all this, what the hell's going on in this country? People killing their wives on honeymoons. I was like, what the, but Jesus is wrong. I don't understand how anybody can harm a child. I just got done watching, or I shouldn't say watching because they didn't broadcast it, but listening to all the YouTubers that went in and sat for the Defy case in Indiana. That one caught me off guard. I really thought he wasn't going to be convicted because they really didn't have a lot of evidence per se on him, except he tried to say he was mental because he confessed so many times to his wife and mother when he would call, and it was used against him. And they claimed to say that he did that because the way he was. I belong to True Crime Channel. True Crime Channel. Cool. See, I like that stuff. I said I said to Scott, my husband, one time. I said, baby. He goes, yeah. I said, please die when you pass away. And he goes, yeah. I said, please die naturally. Why? I said, because if something comes back and it's not natural, I'm going to prison. And he goes, why? I said, if they look through my computer because they find your death suspicious, as soon as they see what I'm watching on TV and my computer, he goes, yeah, they're going to convict me and hold me or arrest me just because of what's on my tablet, my computer, my TV. because I'm always watching Court TV, 48 Hours, True Crimes, podcast of stuff. I said, I'm so screwed. Knock on the door. Right now, those two girls, if we didn't kill them, then right now, those two girls, if he didn't kill them, then who did? Yeah, exactly. I mean, the bullet made no sense to me at all. And my husband had to explain it 2-3 times to me how they got the bullet linked to him after he's like, show me. So because I was trying to describe it because I was so confused about the bullet and the spent cartridge, I should say. So I found a clip where they were talking about it, and then he showed me, and I'm like, because it made no sense. But yeah, this is a tricky one. That whole case is sad. I hope they got the right guy, but I think he's going to be a lot. Thing is, I don't, because they didn't show this one on TV. You're only hearing reports, but now that the court transcripts are coming out, I think there'll be. I think he'll get an appeal personally. I'm not sure though, but those girls, the way they died, and then not to be shot, to be. That's another thing that threw me was there's a gun there, but he didn't shoot them. He slit their throats. That was like, wow. That to me was like, what? Big long segment on Gypsy, the one who got her mom killed. Yeah, that girl's freaky too. Now she's pregnant, divorced, pregnant. Yeah. What I don't get is how we'll use Gypsy. She's a star now or whatever. 15 minutes of fame. We wanted her story. She killed her mom. I get, yeah, her mom was a freak. I mean, she had that disorder. She had her baby, Aurora. How's she supporting that baby? Right? She made millions. Yep. And I think every dime she makes should have to go back to the state that she was pay back for her stay in the prison system. Up to so many years. Well, was she of age when that happened? When she killed her mom with her boyfriend, whatever? She was of age. Oh, she's not living with her stepmom and dad. Oh. She was 20. Oh, damn! I didn't realize she was that old when that happened. See, I didn't pay too much attention. I didn't pay too much attention to that one. The newest thing here in Wisconsin is she was so drugged off, and yeah, the newest thing or the newest one coming up here in Wisconsin is the case of the girls that believed in Slender Man, and they were sentenced to mental institutions until they or something. Well, the one now wants to get out. I guess the other, I didn't realize the other one's out already. So that's the thing that's coming up for in front of a judge. She's been a couple times in front of the judge. Then you got the gal here in Green Bay that did her boyfriend in and cut him up and all that. I was like, what? Drugs mess people up, I tell you, whatever they are take these days. She was so manipulated and drugged up. Who could have just left us there? Very true. I'm waiting for my paint to drip out of my glue. Let's see if I can get enough out to finish what I wanted to do here. And it's done. The blue's gone. Covered Sarah Boone. Oh my God, she's another one. I watched that trial. Her whole impact statement. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I admit her boyfriend wasn't the best boyfriend in the. I believe she was abused, but I think she also abused him. I think they were that very toxic couple. But I couldn't get over her statement. I was like, whoa. Oh, yeah. Scott always says, how can you watch this stuff? I said, I don't know. I just like it. I always have. I love CSIs. So, let's do it on yellow. Kids killing parents, husband, wives. And it's insane. Yep. It is. And then you got the guy that killed the CEO for that health thingy-majigger. I can't remember insurance company. And people making him a hero. I get our health system sucks. Insurance company, CEO for one of them. I don't remember which one. But people out there praising him. I was like, are you kidding me? I just think that's messed up. The guy's a murderer. He killed this CEO. I don't, yeah, I get. Now he moved to Florida and I'm in New York, so I'm good. That's good. You should know who I'm talking about then. It happened in New York. Depending on what part of New York you're at. But I can't. I just then hanging people's pictures, wanted other insurance companies' head honchos on light poles like missing children. I was like, what? No wonder I don't like going out in public too often. I hate Walmart. Hate when I have to go to Walmart. I rarely go to Walmart. I'm lucky I go to Walmart every 2 months. I do big shopping trips, or I make Scott go to Walmart because I hate Walmart. I hate Walmart with a passion. That poor guy just walking down the street. Company that was killed. That was yeah, that one. Yeah, that was messed up. Long Island. Okay. I have Walmart. Do you let you have Walmart deliver? Yeah. There we go. I order online, pick up. Hey, I never think to do that. I should learn how to do that. I should have Diamond teach me that. Diamond's coming over to spend Monday with me. I save money too because I don't buy stuff I see. When I broke my back last summer, I started doing it that way. And what is it? It's cool. Well, I did all my Christmas shopping for the grandkids through it. Amazon. I had Diamond. She does a list for me. The kids, she'll have the kids sit down and give her some ideas, and she'll see something that she knows they want, and she puts it in their Amazon little list, and that's where I go Christmas shopping, birthday shopping, whatever. And I didn't have to leave home, and I was done. Cause Leah, she asked, cause Leah's 21, she's in college. I asked her what she wants. She goes, gift cards to a gas station, and she works at our Fleet Farm. It's a Midwest store at the gas station. So then she gets her employee discount. So we gave her $50 on a gift card for gas. She can use it right at work and get her discount. So she was smart when she asked. She goes, a gift card to Fleet Farm? And I looked at her, I'm like, in Fleet Farm, you can actually go buy clothes. They have houseware goods. So she can buy other things if she wants to. They have, like she said, she can go in, use her discount, buy a month's worth of wrong man. Hot cocoa. She went and bought, she told me she bought some hot cocoa. I laugh when she told me she went, but she said she went and hit the clearance section for like those little cocoa mixes that they have like dressed up for Christmas. She's like, I'm a college student. I don't give a shit. We're gonna go this way. I think I'll just want that run right. Actually, I'm gonna go right here. Is that the same one I did earlier? Nope. Okay. And the kids borrowed money from Scott and I instead of doing Christmas presents. And Sam was off of work because they have a monthly payment to us for their loan. And we gave him a break, while Sam was off because of his leg, his knee. So, I said, would you rather money off your loans? And both kids went, yes. So they're like, we don't need anything, but yeah, we'll take the money off the loan. That's good for me. So that's what me and Scott did this year for the kids. We took money off their loan, $100. They're okay with that. Plus, I bought them a little something to open. I spent $10 on each of them for a gift, but then they got their money off their loan instead of getting their $100. They get $100 per couple. usually. And they were all, both of them, even Xavier and Chantel, were okay with money off their loan because it saved them money. I said it saved them $100 to do other things in the month of December. They all agreed they liked that. So they're like, we'd be okay with that every year, Mom. Like I told Xavier, because Chantel thinks she has to buy for everybody. And I told Xavier, there's a time and place when you're like in the position you and her are right now. You can't buy for everybody when you have a house payment the size of yours. I said, and other bills and student loans. I said, if her grandparents and parents can't understand that, then there's something wrong with those people. I mean, she's got student loan. What the hell did Xavier just tell me? Her student loan's like $400 a month. That's just crazy. And I said, I said, that's just messed up. I said, I could see, okay, buying for her siblings, fine. But her parents should understand that you guys are financially screwed right now. But her mom expects it. Saber told me straight out. Her mom's like, tells them, oh, there's a new, she collects Monopoly games. And not every day Monopoly games. Whatever the newest one comes out, she has to have. And that's what she tells Chantal. You must buy me this. I'm like, what? I'd be like, I don't think so. I must not do nothing. And I said to Xavier, what's wrong with getting them a nice little Christmas ornament or something? Nope. They look at the value of the gift. I'm like, that's wrong. It's just wrong. When you guys are in no position of it. He goes, she uses her own money. She don't use mine. I said, yeah, that's what you think. That's what I said. That's what you think. I didn't like how that looked. Well, Coda wanted this little cube. It's about this big, size of a Rubik cube. I paid $30 for that damn thing. And I was so disappointed. At first, I was disappointed. I expected it bigger, but then I got it. It was the same size of a Rubik's cube, so you can move it in your hand. I didn't realize exactly what it was. It's a game. It has 16 different games, and it has the lights, and he has to follow. And Diamond says he plays it like every other day. He has to charge it because he has to charge it. And he starts out with one color and gets you going with one color, and then if you beat it and you win, it'll give you a second color. And if you beat the second color, it'll give you a third color. And then it goes all over the cube. It's crazy. But it has 16 little different games on it too. And it's an alarm clock. So $30 I paid for that little thing. And seeing how he was so stoked when he got it. I'm like, oh, I did good. Grandma did good this year. But when I remember when I got it, I was like, what the hell? This thing's so cheap. Look, it's not very big. I said to Diamond. Diamond's the one who goes, well, Mom, it's supposed to represent a Rubik's Cube, isn't it? And I'm like, oh, okay, then I get it. Because Coda has a thing for Rubik's Cubes. He's got my Rubik's Cube. I had my Rubik's Cube since I was a kid. And I never took the stickers off like everybody else did. They finally started peeling out. Well worth it, yeah. And so a few years ago, he'd always play with it when he was here, and he'd sit for hours. And he's actually got it, all the colors around it. And then he'll mix it all up. But I never got it. I was like, damn, what the hell? But he's watched videos on YouTube, and he's memorized it. But was it 2 years ago? For his birthday, he asked for a Rubik's Cube for his birthday. He wanted a Rubik's Cube. Well, instead of buying him a Rubik's Cube, I gave him my Rubik's Cube. And he knows. And now, what's funny is he saved his money to get another Rubik's Cube. And I said, why do you save your money to get another Rubik's Cube? I don't want to use yours, Nana, now that you gave it to me. Yeah, I never could solve it either. I don't even know why I asked for a Rubik's Cube. I don't even know if I asked for a Rubik's Cube. I think I just got a Rubik's Cube. Santa. But, yep, now he won't use it because now that I gave it to him. He wants to save it. And I'm like, okay. But that's my Coda bear. He's my lovey-dovey little bear. He's going to be a little heartbreaker. Or I should say he is a heartbreaker. But I tell you, I said to him the other day, because he's in 5th grade now. I think it's 5th grade. I said to him, so how many girls are chasing around the playground? He goes, no, I don't go outside anymore for recess, you know. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting old. Allie's 14. Coda's in 5th grade and he's 12. Riley's 8. And I'm like, where did it go? I was telling Diamond, I said, Allie should be still walking around the furniture going, Ducky, Ducky. And she's 14. And looking like Marilyn Manson. Because she's a gothy chick. She's like, she dresses goth. Like, my granddaughter dresses goth. How many grandchildren do you have? I technically have 3 biological. Those are Diamond's children. Allison, Lakota, Riley. Sam, my son-in-law, was a package deal. He came with Sosalia. That's my oldest grandchild. She's 21. She's mine. She's been in our lives since she was 4. But if I tell you the age and you tell you my daughter's age, people look at me like I'm weird, so I have to kind of explain because my son-in-law is 10 years older than my daughter. Or 8 years older, something like that. He was a young dad. And yeah, one, and he's 10. Or he's just 11 months old. I thought you said it was 10 months. 11 months old. Oh my God, a baby. Oh. And then my foster son has 3 children. Jocelyn, she's 12. Ethan, I'm trying 7. And Tyler, 4. I don't see them too often. They don't come around too often. My grandchildren fight to stay. I have to keep track in my planner. Who's here for the weekend? Whose weekend it is, and because I usually have to call them Nana's weekend, Nana and Papa's weekend. They can come on Friday night to Saturday or Saturday into Sunday. Once in a while, it's Friday night, Saturday night. But it's at my discretion when. And I don't do them every month. Once in a while, I try at least once a month, but not every weekend. I need my space. And it's Coda's turn, and he hasn't asked, so I tried for 10 years to have one. She's 39, so I think Benny will be the only one. Oh, he's a miracle baby. Oh, I like his name. Ben. Is he a Benjamin? You call him Benny? My best friend's son's name is a Benjamin, and I laugh because I always said Benny, or Benny, here's a penny, and I'd give him a penny, and he'd run and put it in his bank. Here's your penny. Benny with a penny, I'd say. My paint's drying up real fast. It's warm in this house. My furnace, I'm gonna have to have Scott, because I swear to God that man turned up that furnace. Or it's just that cold out and it's hitting that temp that keeps running, because the furnace is going again. It is an old house. No, 120-year-old. How did I figure that out? Man, Scott figured that out. Hang on. All right. Okay. It is. I found the papers. 25 minus 1840. Our house, this house alone, is 84 years old. Yep. 1941, they rebuilt this house. I found the papers. But the first house on here was, what did Uncle Russell tell me? Because this, let's see. Uncle Don, if he was alive today, would be 108 years old. Okay? And they built that house a year before he was born. They lived in like a little one bedroom, little story, one little house, just little. And they started adding on, and because Scott's grandmother got pregnant, and he just built her a little house. And that was 109 years ago. On this property alone, Scott's family has owned it for almost 110 years. Just this section. But at one time they owned more property. But then they sold it off. Grandpa sold some off to the city to build subdivision and neighborhoods. Where Lambeau Field sits, Scott's grandfather, it was farming land, and they used to plant seeds there. He remembers it. Not my husband, but Scott's grandfather would talk stories about being a kid. And he lived not too far. He lived on the other end. And this was all hay, except for Scott's other grandparents. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That is so young. Oh my God, to lose a child, I don't care how old you are. I've never lost a child, but my brother died when he was 38, and my mom just never was the same. That's why I said, that's when I'm so sorry. So young. My brother was 38 years old, had a massive heart attack behind his steering wheel. And 2 weeks prior, I brought him into the emergency room, and they told him to go see a heart specialist, and the heart specialist tried to get him in, but he didn't have insurance. So I blame the system partially for my brother's death, just because he didn't have insurance. And he left behind his 10-year-old son. Yep. And it devastated parents. It affected my mom. And she never was the same. Never was the same. And not even 5 years later, my mom died of a massive heart attack at a garage sale. I had always said she died of a broken heart because she just never came back from it. She never was my same. She never was the mom I knew before my brother's death. She took every picture of my brother off the wall. Every picture she had, because she couldn't look at the pictures because she'd cry. And I finally had to say something to her because I'm like, he was my brother too. I walk in here and you think I'm an only child. I'm not an only child. That she finally put, yeah, parents aren't supposed to bury their kids. Nope. My brother and I both stood up for a wedding, my cousin's wedding, and they had a professional photographer, and me and my brother surprised my mom by getting our pictures taken that day because we were both dressed up. He was in the wedding as well, and the only thing is that his cummerbund and vest and tie didn't match, but the guy that I stood up with, because I was maid of honor, they swapped. He took his off, and my brother put it on for pictures. So me and my brother matched in these pictures, and we paid good money to get. We had different poses right along with like different poses when at this park, and we picked one out that we both liked for the center one, and then we had all these little ones on the side, and we paid over like $300 for that. And she put it away after my brother died. Because my brother and I couldn't tell you, that was the first time me and my brother had our pictures taken together since we were kids. I mean, occasional snap photo from somebody taking a picture, but not professionally. And I remember saying to my mom, probably 6 months before she passed away, I said, you know something, Mom? And she's like, what? I said, I'm not an only child. And she goes, what's that mean? I said, I walk in this house, I see your grandchildren, I see pictures of me and Scott. She's like, yeah. I said, where's my brother? Where's my pictures of me and Timmy together? Where are they? Well, it's so hard to look at them. I said, yeah, I get that. I said, I understand. I said, but I have a brother and you have a son. He may be gone. And about 2 weeks later, I came back over at my mom's for dinner, and there on the little stand, she always had it on, there was those professional pictures. She said she was telling somebody at her work what I said. And she said, Patty, she's hurting just like you. She lost her brother. And she's lost part of you. Because I always felt like my mom was. I remember looking at my mom. My dad didn't go to the funeral home. My parents were divorced since I was 6. My dad didn't go to the funeral home to plan my brother's funeral. He said, you can handle this, right? And I'm like, I guess. And my mom met me at the funeral home, and she looked right through me. I never had a person look through me. I went like this. She wasn't there. So I had to do my brother's funeral. I planned it. And then we couldn't show him because he hit the way he hit. So if I had my way, my parents went to saw my brother. He did not look like my brother. I collapsed when I saw my brother because the funeral director told me I had to come in early to make the decision. How he put it, I'd rather have the family make the decision to close the casket. And I'm like, okay. He goes, legally I can, but I always like to have the family do it than me. And I'm like, okay. Because I didn't realize what condition my brother was in. I'm like, close it. But my mom wanted to see my brother, and I think that had a lot to do how my mom, because my dad walked up there and never walked up there again. Yeah. I think to this day, I should have closed the casket and told my parents, nope, you're not seeing them. You made me the person to handle the funeral. Yeah. But can't change it now. But yeah. Now my dad, I don't talk to him. He's an asshole. He always has been. You would think he'd want to build a better relationship with his one. Yeah, him and my parents divorced by the time I was 6. He remarried 6 months to the day after my parents' divorce was final. Crazy. And his second wife told him, "Your first family or your second?" After she got that ring on her finger in a child, my half sister, and he chose his second family. And I'm lucky I saw my dad once a year, and it was at his parents for Christmas Eve. And so I'm used to not seeing the man. And he had an accident. God, 8 years ago. It could be less. I don't keep track anymore. And I sat in a hospital, went to doctor's appointment with that man. The whole idea. Because my stepmother and him are divorced now. But she guilt tripped him. Because she always makes it, look what you did to your family. Look what you did to your family. That he signed over his property to his ex-wife, my stepmother, ex-stepmother, and my sister. When he had his accident, he signed a piece of paper in the hospital. So now he's like, but it's his, he'll tell you it's his property, but it's not. But I quit helping him when I found out that he always forgets my birthday. I haven't had a happy birthday from my dad in 20-some years. Well, he had this ex-girlfriend after him and my stepmother divorced. And he still remembers his ex-girlfriend's niece's birthday, but can't remember mine. And when I found that out, it was the same time I went up to the hospital when he had another act. He ended up in the hospital. And I got up there, and he was in the ICU. And they wouldn't let me in because on his records, he only has one child. And she was already in there. And I'm like, what? Yeah. And I argued. And his doctor, who I happen to know, comes walking by. And I'm like, Dr. Henry, they won't let me in to see my dad. And he's like, why? And here on the records, his ex-wife told the hospital I was deceased. Yep. So and then when I waited till he was out of the hospital, and I said something, and his excuse was, the hospital must have did that. I'm like, Dad, the only way they know you have a deceased child, is if they're informed. Well, they must have mixed you up with Timmy, because my brother's name was Timothy. I'm a Tina Louise. He was Timothy, so we'll say initials. And I'm like, no, how would they mix up a male and a female when Timmy was listed as well? Because I checked, because I thought the same thing. And the nurse goes, no, it says deceased son Timothy, deceased daughter Tina Louise. And when he got out of the hospital and I told him about it, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You'd think you haven't already lost a child like he did, my brother, it would have affected him more and didn't phase him. So I quit talking to him. I was like, no more. Nope. And then I found out about the same time frame that he could remember his ex-girlfriend's niece's birthday, but not mine. So goodbye. You're gone and you're not in my life. The first time I saw my father in 6 years was at my son's wedding last year. Because my son goes, should I invite Grandpa? I said, it's your wedding, your day, your way. Are you going to be okay with it? I kept on saying, your wedding, your day, your way. okay. But he stayed there maybe an hour, so I didn't have to worry too much. He never even said hi to me. Talked to me one time. Said to me, "So what great grandchildren are these are mine?" And I'm like, "You mean my grandchildren? You don't have any great grandchildren." He just looked at me. With, you don't acknowledge him any other time. Yeah. Allison was standing right next to me. Ollie's like, "I'm right here, Grandpa Roger." They know who he is, but he doesn't know who they are. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Oh, they hit Hollywood now? Wow, I wonder if that's going to take out the Hollywood sign. Scott didn't even realize that was happening. He walked in because, did you guys see that live video? Or did you guys watch that live video of all that paper that Diamond got off for me off Marketplace? I counted 72 paper pads when I put them away today. 72, I believe. Was that 72 or 60? Whatever. It was up there. 12 by 12 paper. Somebody put it on Marketplace free. Come and get it. Diamond snagged it. I even got the little pink drawers. There's a video of me showing it. Well, I organized that all. I had to move stuff to put that away. So I just literally finished about 5 o'clock, 5:30. Scott walked in the door and I was watching clips of it. And Scott goes, "Where the hell?" He goes to me, "How old is that?" I go, "What do you mean how old it is?" He goes, "Well, when is that from?" He thought it was old clips I was watching. So I said, "No, that's happening now in California." I said, he's like, "Holy shit." And I'm like, "Whoops, sorry, my language." Yep. I didn't know my bio dad, but my stepdad was in my life until he was 83. He never knew he never knew I knew, and I didn't want to hurt him by telling him. My mom passed away when I was in my 20s. They haven't evacuated people soon enough either. It says fire hydrants aren't working. Wow, that's score. LOL. Yeah. See, he must have been a good man. See, I had a grandpa. My mom's dad took over. My mom's dad took over replace my dad. I called him grandpa, but he was he was the man. I tell you. I think after my parents' divorce, my dad had every other week visitation, and he did it for a while. And then we lived with him for a while. And my stepmother was awful. Today, if I was a child today, her ass would be in jail for child abuse. So my grandpa went to Colorado because my aunt and uncle got stateside because my aunt and uncle were, and my uncle was in the army, usually over in Germany, and they actually got stateside in Colorado. And he went to stay with them because, he wanted to get to know my cousin Dawn, except he had a granddaughter calling him all the time about my stepmother and how she was treating me. And my mom, she became a truck driver, so she thought it was best to let us live with my dad, but she didn't know my stepmother was abusive till way late. And I just called my grandpa crying, and he would be like, "Why, you'll have to work, you're new to your dad." He was the best ever papa my kids. I'm 2018. Awesome. See? And he came home. And when I found a week later, not even, I was back living with my grandfather. And thank the mighty God. Yep, he was my daughter. My son was my daughter remembers my grandfather. She was 4. My son, I had my grandfather. when I told him I was pregnant with my son, he goes, well, you and Scott should be. He goes, I ain't going to say nothing. He was that type of man. He didn't say anything really when I got pregnant with Diamond either. My daughter's. And he did. The only thing he said, I'll live long enough to see your baby boy born, he says. But after that, he says, I probably won't be around anymore. He called me Bugs. He never called me by my first name. He always called me by my nickname. So you better prepare yourself, Bugs, he says. And I went, what? And he goes, because the thing is, my grandfather had so many close calls when I was a kid. My grandfather had a heart condition. He wasn't even supposed to live when he was a baby. They told I guess his mom, they expected him to die as an infant. And guess what? He lived to be almost 76 years old. No, he did live to he did live to be 76. But and my grandma died when I was 7 years old. And my grandfather never married, never even thought about it. And he'd tell me when he'd have close calls, yup, I seen your grandma, because he died twice on the operating table, and they brought him back, and he was mad. And he'd tell me, I saw your grandma, and I'd be like, what's she doing? She has her hands on her hips. I didn't do something right, he said, because she'd get mad if she put her hands on her hips. 62 years, that's awesome. And well, I had my son on a Tuesday, and they informed me my grandpa went in the hospital, that I checked myself out on I said to my doctor, I got to get out of here. He's like, Tina, I'd like to keep you one more day. And I said, no, I got to go to the hospital. He goes, you're in a hospital. I said, no, I need to go to Connell Falls. And he's like, why? I said, my grandfather's in the hospital and he's not doing well. I need to go see him. So, because my baby was Xavier, had a heart monitor when he came home. So because he had a little hurt, something happened in the hospital. I can't remember. His little heart wore on top. This little thing like this big, and it set an alarm. And Scott stuck around and did that class, and we did that class and learned how to do this. And then they checked this out, and I went up because I had him Tuesday. Wednesday, I found out my grandpa was in the hospital, and they dicked around so long on Wednesday to check me out that I didn't get up Wednesday there. But Thursday, I got up to the hospital to see my grandfather and stayed there all day, and he was sleeping most of the day. He'd come out of it, and then he fell asleep. And then he had a close call, so the whole family showed up. And he knew he was dying, so he sent everybody home. But I laughed because he told the nurse, go out in that family room, he says. The nurse goes, what? Burton, your family left. No, I'll tell you right now. You need to go out in that family room. And he goes, my granddaughter's in that family room. I can tell you that already. She will not leave. Because I refused to always leave my grandfather when he had surgeries until I could see him. Because he'd be 5.5 hours away from us, because he was in the Veterans Hospital, was almost 5 hours away from us. And I wouldn't leave until I see him. Lo and behold, the nurse goes out there, and there I am. And she goes, are you Tina? And I'm like, yes. Your grandfather says he'd like to see you. I'm like, damn it. Because I was staying. I wasn't leaving. But he made me leave. He told me if I didn't leave on my own, he was going to have them escort me out with security. I had to take that baby home. He says, I don't want that baby. And the thing is, I forgot to grab my camera. And I remember thinking, I said to my mom, I forgot the camera. I don't have a picture of my grandfather holding my baby. And my mom says maybe it was a blessing, because he had that look. So there's no picture of my grandfather holding Xavier. But I lost my grandfather Friday morning at 2:20. Yep. So technically Friday. Same week my son was born. And like his words came true. Like, yeah. And my son has his name. My son has his own first name, Xavier. Then he has Scott's grandfather's name, Clarence. And then he has my grandfather's name, Burton. Xavier Clarence Burton. He's named after both great grandfathers. He was supposed to be a doctor. I always teased my son when he was little. You can put on your little thing, Dr. Xavier Clarence Burton Massey. Now he's the mechanic, a diesel mechanic known as X. They call him X-Man at work. Because I always tease him, he's getting me a flag. Because he went through a period, he was going to go in our Air Force. And his dyslexia and writing disorder messed him up for the military. He really wanted to go in the military, and they wouldn't take him. So I told him he could be Dr. Mechanic. He goes, excuse me? I said, like Sheldon's brother from the 70s. No, that's 70s show. Oh, what the heck is that show? With Sheldon, Penny, and I can't remember. I said, his brother is a mechanic or a tire salesman, and he calls himself Dr. something. He's no doctor. Doctor of tires. But, so I said to Xavier before that I didn't know that when I said it that the military wouldn't take him because of his writing disorder and his dyslexia. Because my son, his mind, he'll be writing cursive, and then his brain will be like, what's next letter? And then he'll write E and or the letter in regular print. Yeah. That's why being a mechanic, he learned his hands-on. Great job. So luckily I have that note when I found all this out. They can't use it against him at his job, but I didn't think the military could. But now back to the story. I made a comment that I can't wait till you go through military, because he was hoping to get in Air Force. Go through the Air Force. I'm going to hang a flag that says, I'm a proud mom of an Air Force officer. Off my porch, I said. Well, when we found out he couldn't go in the military, which I think is ridiculous of the reasoning, he passed the physical. Just when they found about this disorder. A few years ago, he said, I don't know how he thought I wasn't proud of him because he didn't go in the military. And I'm like, Xavier was an awesome Army mom. And I said, Xavier, what do you mean? Well, you didn't get to hang the flag off your porch. And I forgot I said that. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, boy? Because you said to me you couldn't wait to hang the flag off your porch. My son is our Air Force officer. And then when he said it, I remembered. I'm like, yeah, but Xavier, I said, that's not I said, I was just saying I was proud of you. I said, it doesn't matter what the flag is. I said, you're a mechanic now, yeah, so get me a mechanic's flag. So he told me the other day, he goes, I ordered one, and I'm like, ordered me what? This wasn't long ago, because my son's going, him and his wife are separated right now. They've only been married over a year and a half. So He's working through some issues. And he came down. And I said to him, I said, Xavier, I'm very proud of you. I don't know. I said, I've always been proud of my children. Yeah, but I know you wanted a military son. A military son because your grandfather was in the military. I said, Xavier, I said, you know what? If my grandfather had been around now, he wouldn't have got in the military because of his heart. Back then, they didn't care. So, I'm not, no, I said, I go, you're fine. I said, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud that you went from high school and got a different career. Yeah, you couldn't go in the Air Force. You couldn't go in the Navy. You couldn't do any of it because of something that probably came from your damn parents. You know? And I said, but that didn't make me less proud of you. So I made the joke, then get me a damn mechanic's slave. Well, guess what? He fought one. He ordered me a mechanic's slave so I can hang it on my flagpole next year. I said, there you go. My son's a mechanic. Diesel mechanic. He went all the way to Ohio for school. I was so worried when it's the first time any of my kids went out of state. He was gone for 3 months. And when he came, because we gave him money, he was in he came over before he left, and I made him open his glove compartment. I wrote all these little things out with his emergency stuff and everything underneath his his spare tire. I made him lift his spare tire. There was me and my husband's address and phone number and everything. I said, "You're lucky I don't put your my name through on your whitey tighties." I said. He goes, "Mom, I'll be fine." I'm like, and I said, "And you better at least." I said, and then I made him give me a word that only I would know if he was taken. He would say the word. He goes, "Jesus, Mom." And the thing is all that riot shit was going on at the time. So I know he was in Ohio. But I was like, you know what the crap? He's like, you need to get off YouTube. That's what he told me. You need to quit watching that riot stuff. But my husband said, just let her do it. So, yep, every place I could think of. And I said, I watched so many CSI things. They never know. You could be a missing person, and they won't know who you are. But then they'll find this car, and they'll see that. Oh, look at there's this couple's name in here, Scott and Tina Massey. Let's call them. Hey, do you have da? And then I'll know it's you. Yep, I had that with them when they were little. So what makes a difference if he's adult? He just thought, yep. Scott, my husband said to my son, just let him. If you want your mother to sleep for the next 3 months, let her do this. So I think I had it. I had my name in his glove department. I had our name in the owner's manual. I had it underneath the spare tire. I made sure the school had my information. Oh yeah. I laughed because the guy that I was talking to because they needed some of my husband and I's information. And I'm like, you got this all down if something happens to him, right? Yep. And then due to the fact it was during Christmas and he wasn't coming home for Christmas and his professor invited him, one of his professors or teachers, whatever you call them, invited him for Christmas because he found out Xavier and another kid wasn't going home. So it was a ways away. He told Xavier, "You better let your mom know you're going to be out of range." He goes, "We have no cell coverage where we're going." He goes, "If you want," he goes, "we can go into town on Christmas Day so you can wish your parents a Merry Christmas." But he goes, because the deal was he had to at least text or call me. And I laughed because when he texted me, he had to put the word in, so I knew it was him. Yeah, I was. Now I think about it, how funny it is. But I told Xavier, "You're lucky. Why?" I said, "Some kids don't even have that. They're still at home." Xavier, mother, that's weird. But he called me. He's like, "Mom, yeah, I will probably won't be getting a text message over for." And I'm like, "Why?" And then he told me. He said he was stunned when he got to this place, this professor's cottage. He said, "Mom," he took pictures. It was this beautiful log cabin. It's hard when Anthony left for the army training. Couldn't talk to him for 6 weeks. Then he trained in Georgia for 9 months. But he used to sneak his phone and call me when he was on guard duty. Yeah, we talk all night. There you go. That's some soldiers got it easy these days. There wasn't no phone. My Uncle Randy told me, because my Uncle Randy had 31 years in the Air Force. He retired right before 9/11 because he got told not to leave. Literally retired and got told he couldn't move it. Move. He's like, I ain't going nowhere. But I laughed because my Uncle Randy, they hired him back to do the same job that he retired and he made more money being a civilian. He said, if I'd known that, he retired a long time ago. But they didn't. He was chief engineer of those big planes. They didn't have anybody to train well enough to do it. So he did that. He still does that. He's just part-time now. But he had 31 years in. My uncle got out, did 6 years in the Air Force, got out, spent 1 year out, maybe a year, 2 years out, missed it, and went back and re-enlisted. He's got a picture of him and Clinton, because Clinton went over, I remember exactly, but he didn't fly on Air Force One. He flew in my uncle's plane overseas in the war. I don't think they take the war when he went over during a war, and I can't remember which one. Well, whatever one was going on with Clinton. So I didn't take Air Force One. But he got a picture with the president and sent it to my grandma. She was all excited because that he did that. It's in my grandma had to put it in the paper. I know why I don't get 6 weeks is a long time. To not be able to talk to family. I wouldn't have been prepared for that one, but at least then you know where he is. But I was just, the problem I had when my son decided to go to school is that everything was happening not crazy with people all over protesting everything under the sun. And it just happened here, like that here in Wisconsin with that Rittenhouse kid. So, yeah, I was a little freaked. Because there's loony people out there. And plus, I think at the same time my son was going to school is when that family was killed that had seven people. They just got sentenced this past week, which was crazy. That guy killed 7 people and only got 30 years. My friend's cousin was Jimmy Carter's. My friend's cousin was Jimmy Carter. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. 100 years old. I watched that. Yep, I watched him leave Georgia, the procession, and then land and all that. I watched all that. I think it's cool. It's bad when you say it's cool, but I remember watching when Bush passed away and Reagan. Like I told my daughter, I never figured I'd see King Charles. I figured he'd die before the Queen. That was my grandfather's favorite president, was Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. Mhm. 100 years. My neighbor across the street from me, she's 94 years old. She's a Spitfire, that one. She tells me every time. She had a couple girlfriends that were like in their 80s. 84, I think, was her last girlfriend that passed away. And she's like, why is everybody passing away my age? And I was like, and she's like, I don't know why I'm still here. And then her son Paul, he's got lung cancer right now. He's going through treatment. At least we caught it in time. And the way I say we is because his sister called me. Because his mom called the sister. The sister was out of town. And he wasn't feeling good. And she wouldn't let Paul dial. Paul wouldn't let her dial 911. So, and when I got over there, he was so mad that Lynn called me. And I'm like, Lynn didn't call me. You just pop it in? I'm like, no, Scott called me because Lynn called Scott. So, but my husband had a heart attack. And everything he described to me was symptoms. Wow, she didn't even know yet. Damn. And so he wasn't going to go in. My husband made him go in. Because I didn't think my husband was having a heart attack. We cut wood that day, and I thought he was just having heat stroke. Because we did it when it was warm. Nope. It was a heart attack. I'm lucky my husband's here. Because the heart attack that he had is called Widowmaker. Could have been a widow. I'm glad I'm not ready to be a widow. And I don't want to be a widow anytime soon. Knock on wood. And so my husband made Paul go in. So he went in. They admitted him. Because when they brought him in, and Scott brought him in and said he's having chest pains, they put him on a monitor and there was nothing. But his blood pressure was skyrocketed. So they kept him and they ran all these tests and they discovered a spot about the size of 50-cent piece on his lung. So he's going through radiation and chemo right now and everything like that. And his mom's like, she's handling it better than we thought she would, but she worries about him. Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, they put stents in my husband's heart. So, and in a bonehead, okay, because my father-in-law passed away in March. And my husband had his heart attack in May. We're in the process of buying this house. It's my husband's childhood home we live in. So, lucky it was already in the lawyer's hands. My sister-in-law couldn't back out of it because we already paid for it. We're just waiting for the title and all that. So, and my father-in-law always, how do I put this? My father-in-law always thought he would be the one to go first. So he had all these life insurance policies. He had 2 through work. Then he had 4 private ones. And then he insured his investments. All this stuff that he paid into because he bought this house from his siblings, so they never had a mortgage. But my mother-in-law is the one that went first. But he paid so much into these that he kept them, and he just changed the beneficiaries to my husband and his sister. So I get to see my husband the first night, right after the surgery, and he's all doped up. He's yelling at me to get back on and go to lay in. And they said it. The last thing Scott saw was me before he went in. I rolled up in the elevator with him when they got him stable. Gave him a kiss. Told him I see him later. So when he comes to and I could go in the room by him, he starts yelling at me because I'm out of bed. You need to get in his bed. You should be out of bed already. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? He goes, you shouldn't be out of bed already after you had a heart attack. And I'm like, I didn't have the heart attack. You did. And then he says to me, oh. Then he looks around. He goes, oh, it is me. So he sometimes messing with him. But he says to me, well, you would have been a rich widow if I had died. Because of the life insurance policies his dad had and investments his dad had, which all would have been, he says, he just literally sat down and put everything beneficiary to me not 2 weeks prior. And I'm like, I don't want to have money. I want you butthead, I said. I'm going to kick your ass, I said, as soon as you get out of this hospital. Saying that to me. He didn't realize he said it to me. Like, I was so mad. Diamond, my daughter's like, calm down, Mom. It's the drugs. I'm like, it better be the drugs. Because I said, I married that man. We didn't have a dime in our pocket, basically. We worked paycheck to paycheck. Do you think it does going to matter now? 26 years later? I was so mad. I waited till he got out of the hospital. And I said to him, do you remember saying anything the night you got out of surgery? He goes, no, not a damn thing. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, why? So I told him, he goes, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm like, yeah, you made me. Because I felt so bad that I didn't think he was having a heart attack. Like I said, I thought he had a heat stroke. I was giving him water. But you know what the doctor told me? I gave him pickle juice. Because I thought, that he had a heat stroke. And the doctor said it helped. Because he said, you gave him pickle juice? I'm like, yeah, I gave him pickle juice. Because he asked me when was the last time he ate. I said, we had Subway, and he said he just wasn't feeling good. And then we went and dropped off some checks to the Humane Society. I said, we were going to go somewhere else. And he's like, honey, I just don't feel good. And I'm like, okay, let's go home. I said, you do look a little flush. I said, maybe the heat's getting to you because it was really warm. And he goes, maybe. So we got home. And it got worse a little bit. So I gave him pickle juice. Well, I was calling my daughter. My daughter had enough of it. And he wouldn't go in. I'm like, let's go in. He's like, no, I ain't going in there. Well, I was telling my daughter. So my daughter came in. Oh, that turned out really cool, actually. And my daughter took his pulse. And she's like, Dad, get in the damn car. So we got in the car, and he had a heart attack right in the hospital. Thank God he was there, though. I don't think he would have made it if he wasn't at the hospital. So I pray. I just thank God every day that when he finally when the heart attack decided to happen, he had all the symptoms, and he ignored them. That he was at the hospital. He don't ignore him now, but he just had one of his they still have him on every 6 months. He was like he went from every month to 3 months, then to 6 months, And I still think he's on the 6 months. He's got a 40% chance of living through it. Get it's done. Give him to. Oh yeah. See, my dad's got my dad's got a pacemaker. My family was really weird. It's Scott's family, and I said it's got is family history of cancer. My family is heart conditions. So I have a thing I do that echo whatever it's called, where they do the 3D and they check your veins and everything to your heart. I pay for that out of pocket once a year for $80 because I'm so freaked out because my mom had a massive heart attack, my brother had a massive heart attack behind the wheel, and my grandfather had a heart condition, and one of my cousins does. So I'm a little I do precautions of that. Never expected it to be Scott. Yeah. And every time it comes, when they do my test, they're like, Tina, your heart's looking good. Looks good. Keep up with, it's just sometimes it's not family history. Well, I hope it works out best for him. Well, I laugh. My grandpa always had a heart condition. Since the day he was born, pretty much. We went to the VA hospital. One of the last trips I made to the hospital with him, actually. He looks at this doctor, and I could see the little mouse running in my grandfather's head. You know how you can tell he's thinking? He says to this doctor, did I ever have you before? And the doctor goes, well, probably, Mr. Cox. I've been here for blah, 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 blah years. And he goes, and I'll never forget it. My grandpa goes, you're the son of a bitch that told me 26 years ago I was going to die. Because my grandpa had an awesome memory. If I only had that man's half of his memory. And he goes, I told you that? He says, yep. He goes, and the reason I remember it, he goes, was in 1972 because my daughter was pregnant with this child. And she's 25 years old, 26 coming up March, he says. He says, I don't know if I want you touching me. I said, Grandpa, you never had him before? No, he goes, I've never seen him again. I'm like, wow. Because at the VA hospital, you get who you get. He goes, I'm only here for a checkup. I didn't have no surgeries this time, he said, so I don't see no surgeon. I'm like, oh my God. And guess what? I always told my grandfather his heart wasn't going to kill him because he had too big of a heart because he was the nicest person ever. My grandpa's heart didn't kill him. He didn't die from his heart disease. His kidneys failed. He got kidneys. They found cancer on my grandfather's kidneys, and he chose not to have treatment. And he chose not to tell anybody. They didn't even tell my Aunt Penny. And he lived with my aunt. Yep, they had cancer. And then when we found out, when we were all at the hospital, I looked at my grandpa and I grinned. And he goes, yep, Bugs, you were right. And I go, what? That my heart wasn't going to kill me? Because I had too big of a heart, like you said. Because I was spoiled for my grandfather. And, well, he raised me after my parents' divorce, so. He said he got a second win when he got me, when me and my brother and my mom went to live with him. And, he said he enjoyed it because he had to work so hard when he had his own children that he could have fun with his grandchildren that he raised, me and my brother, so. But, yep. His heart didn't kill him. Kidney disease did. And I remember asking him, why aren't you having the treatment? Whatever they would have did. And he said, I'm just too old for that. Let him save it for somebody younger. That was his, yeah, Jay hasn't been. Sorry. Well, that's such, that's like me and Scott. We only go to the doctor if we're sick. And I wasn't raised to, run to the doctor if you have nosebleeds at all, or a headache or a flu symptom. These days, well, they make, especially people that are getting assistance that don't have to pay for their insurance, they're running for everything. I realized because when my son-in-law was going to school and my daughter worked part-time, they had to get assistance for insurance. And I realized how they would go to the doctor for anything. I'm like, Jesus, it's a cold. Stay. Well, Mom, he's got a cold. I'm like, wait till you have to pay your own bills. He'll change your mind. You'll go when you know where you have to go. I said, well, I was sicker than a dog right before COVID came out, when they made the announcement for the whole world. I could not kick this cold. I just couldn't kick this like flu bug that I finally called my doctor and said, I don't know what's going on, but I need an antibiotic. And he had me come in and he did an x-ray of my lungs and all, and sent me home with the antibiotic and called me 3 days later and told me not to leave the house, that they were further testing my test. And I'm like, why? And he goes, I can't tell you. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't tell me? He goes, I can't tell you. So COVID came out, called me back at COVID. And I said to him, how in the hell did I get this disease? I'm at home. And the only thing we think is my grandkids, they were in school yet. They didn't get it. They carried it. Yeah. And I said, I know what teacher gave it to the school. Because she was on. I told the doctor, I know exactly how I got it. Well, he goes, why? I said, I guarantee that teacher that just came back from vacation, I said, gave it to the kids. And, I was awful. I had it 3 times. And we were sick right before Christmas. When my son came to stay with us, he was sicker than a dog. It felt good though. I said this to my husband, I'm going to get sick. He goes, yep, I know we are. Because he was running fevers and everything. I said to my husband, it's weird making sure my baby boy, because I always call him my baby boy. He's my youngest child and my last one. And I said, making sure he's all right. I said, it's weird because he moved out when he was 18 years old. I said to be back living with his parents, and now he's sick and his mommy's taking care of him. I said I kind of needed that. That's made my son's relationship. I just had COVID in September for the 3rd time. I'm sick now with the virus. There's so much going on around. It's crazy. My son and I we had a tough relationship after he moved out, and things have gotten a lot better. And now that he's moved back in temporarily, because my son technically lives in the house right behind us. He bought the house right behind us, but him and his wife are having problems. So he decided to come and stay with us. And it's weird, But I look at it this way: if him right now staying here, then they're working. I didn't ask the total story. It's not my business. Um, Work things out, and if him staying here and her in the house, they're going to counseling. They're putting the work in it to try to make their marriage work. But they're, like I said to my son, you've only been married just over a year. The first year is going to be your hardest. I said, and we told you guys not to buy a house. They went and jumped into buying a house right away. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Because he's working 2 jobs. We skipped Christmas because I was sick. We had a New Year's instead. Yeah, I missed the first when COVID hit. I missed the first Easter in the years that my oldest grandchild, not Sosalia, my oldest. Sosalia is mine too. But Allison, I did the Easter egg hunt. They came to my house, did the Easter eggs. I put them all on the front porch because you were supposed to stay away from that restriction they had on everybody. I went into such a depression because I babysat my grandkids. My grandkids lived 20 minutes out of town, but they were registered in the school by me because I was their daycare. And to going from seeing them every day after school to not seeing them, I went into a depression. Then finally, my daughter, I called her. She could tell I was crying because I started doing FaceTime with the kids, and I ordered a book on Amazon for their house and ordered a book for my house, and I was reading to the kids over Facebook Messenger. But my daughter could tell that I was trying to hold in from crying because I wanted to see I wanted to hug him. I wanted to touch him. But she finally had enough of it after, I think, 2 months. That she came and got me one night, called my husband, who was still working, and said, Dad, I picked up Mom today. We're having a family dinner, and I don't care if they haul me to jail, she said. I can't handle seeing Mom look like she's going to cry every time she sees the kids. So we had a family dinner. This year's Christmas was weird. I don't know. I said to my daughter, I don't know if it's because it was at the beginning of the week, kind of, because I do Christmas Eve. It didn't feel right to me this year for some reason. I don't know what the hell it was. I just couldn't get in the spirit. I usually leave my tree up till after New Year's, and I have my tree down 2 days after Christmas. My daughter couldn't believe that. But I told them I just couldn't get in the spirit this year. I don't know why. And that's not like me. In my house, I'm head to toe. House, I only put I put my tree up, very minimum decorations throughout the house. But I just don't know what it was this year. I just wasn't. And then I wonder, and I told my husband, I said, I wonder if it's because our grandkids are getting older and the excitement from the kids ain't there as much anymore. I don't know. It was just an odd year for me. My husband even noticed that I was wanting He's like, you're not putting all the Santas out this year? And I'm like, no. Or it's because I'm tired of doing it alone. I don't know. Well, I mean, my house is still decorated, but not like we usually would be. And New Year's, we never go out on New Year's. We haven't gone out on a New Year's, and oh God, I couldn't. We usually have the grandkids, and my daughter goes out. My son-in-law, they didn't even go out this year. They came here and chilled out with the kids, and me and Scott. Well, Sam just went to work, so they didn't have the extra money. Anyways, but just off the ear. I don't. Cool. I'll tilt it this way. See, I can put my hand in here too if I want to. I kept this one purposely because it was a bag. Or anything. Yeah, I put my 12-foot Santa out. I got a big 12-foot Santa, and the story about my 12-foot Santa is we have Menards. I don't know if Menards is nationwide, but they it's like they have wood for building houses, shingles, and a Christmas section, and paint. So, due to the fact we were painting this house and saying you got 11% rebate. You send all the receipts in, and they'd send you a rebate card, and you had to use it back in the store. Well, by the time Scott and I sent all the rebates in, we got the rebate check back, or the card with the amount on. It was over $700. That's how much we put into this house. Because you got 11% on every dime. So I said to Scott, can I use it and buy outdoor ornaments? He was like, okay. So I bought some for Halloween. Because that video, if you look on my channel, you go back, you'll see my house at Halloween. I didn't do one for Christmas. So at least I don't think I did. But so I go to get birdseed. I said we were out of birdseed, and it was right like November, and I said to Scott, I said, I'm gonna see what they got for lawn ornaments, and he's like, okay, because I'm still using the rebate, and so I see this Santa, and I thought he was the coolest thing, and he was like $125, which is actually pricey, but well, I put it in a cart, put the birdseed in a cart. I'm in the aisle. They take the stuff out of the cart and they scan it, and it goes down the conveyor. They do. You don't put it up. You don't put it on a counter. So I'm talking. I happen to run into my aunt. So her and I are yapping away at the checkout as the lady's scanning the birdseed, scanning the Santa. There was 2 bags of birdseed and Santa, and I didn't hear her say the total. I thought she said like 185. It would be about right, you know. So I hand her the rebate card. She scans it, puts the new total on the back side for me so I know what's left. And I said, then I grab my receipt, which also tells me what's left. Wait for my aunt to check out. We get to the car, and Scott, and my uncle's already out there talking to Scott. And We probably sat 20 minutes in the parking lot and chit-chatted, and then I'm like, why don't go have some lunch? Oh, yeah. So then we end up going for lunch. So we get home, and I'm putting the receipt, because you also get 11% back from even the rebates. So I'm looking at my rebate, and I'm like, what? Birdseed, 18.90, da da da, and $18.90. And I look at the rebate. Whoever worked there, they messed up big time. They only scanned it me for one bag of birdseed and not the $150 Santa or $125 Santa. And I thought, well, I'm home. I ain't worried about it now. I didn't steal it. So I got my 12-foot Santa free and a bag of birdseed. Then I called my aunt that night. I said, did you see her scan that stuff? And he goes, yeah. She goes, scanned it right over. I said, did you look at your receipt? She goes, no, why? I said, look at your receipt. So she looked at her receipt too. She got about 4 items that weren't scanned either. So the lady must have been scanning too fast and not paying attention is all we could think. And she lived 45 minutes out of town. She goes, I ain't going back and telling them. I said, well, they'll eventually realize it. Yep. So that's all I got my big Santa for out in the front yard. I told Scott if I'd have known that would happen, I'd have loaded up more. Alrighty, you have a good day or morning. Thanks for tuning in or coming in. Yeah, I got about 20 minutes and I'm going to bed. I'm just using the paint up that's left on my palette right now. And then I'm kind of go off to bed too. Oh, I can put this down. Or is it only going to be able to work on a jelly plate? Yeah, it's a cool idea. But I'm going to have Scott. I'm going to see if Scott can cut this like in half for me somehow so that I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of the whole thing. But the whole thing on a jelly plate was cool though. Unless I can put paint down. And bring it on a jelly plate. I bet you that would work. That'd be kind of cool. Got a bigger palette over here, probably could. That goes right there. Let's get this one. A little bit of everything here. Let's see. I got some blue. Yeah, blue. Good night. this on the bottom looks pretty rad ass, man. That looks cool. I'm gonna cut that up. I can move. Oh boy, didn't realize that. Move it down some. Oh. Not putting my sword on your computer. There we go. Go right here. I have more color on this end. What the hell is that? Okay, there we go. Where's that one I want? There it is. This one. A little bit. Maybe I can get some. Cool. All that's left is that little bit in that bottle. And then so my palette of that color. Oh, a lot of this color. So let's see what I can do. Bring that down. And a lot of pink here. Slop it on. picking up a little other color in there. It's cool. I made like a pink, purple. Now I'm going to take. No, what do I? Does that cover the whole thing? Nope. I need a long one. Damn it. There we go. Okay. Put that down. Let's see. I didn't pick up as much as I thought I would. That's a good starter. All right. Okay. Look, I didn't use that one. Oopsie. Some little keys. Okay. I'm thinking I'm not going to like this one. So I need to make this look better. I think I'm just going to cover the whole thing with purple. Looks a lot better than what it was. Oh. Oh, my foot fell asleep. I'm sitting in style in my chair. My foot just fell asleep. Ow. Another color. Get more off. This looks cooler though. Alrighty, I'm calling it at night. I'm getting tired. And I only got one little gob of paint left. If it dries, it dries. It's not that big a gob. So I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, be happy, be kind, be safe, be funny, be happy. Bye for now, and you never know when you see me live again. Because I don't set a time. Bye, everybody. Have a good Thursday. It is already Thursday. It's about 2 o'clock. Almost 2 o'clock here. It's 1:46 a.m. So I will see you on the next stream. Bye.